Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking something pretty wild, and honestly, a little heartbreaking about our feline best friends. Animal behaviorists are telling us that some of our most normal, everyday habits, things we do literally without a second thought, are actually quietly hurting the cats we love so much.
I know, it's a tough question to swallow. Is your love quietly hurting them? I mean, most of these habits feel totally harmless to us. But if we keep doing them, we could actually be slowly chipping away at our cat's trust, messing with their health, and honestly just destroying their basic sense of safety in their own home.
The stakes here are definitely high. But listen, before we cross the bridge into the feline mind, remember this. Almost every single cat owner makes these mistakes out of pure love. You are absolutely not alone in this. We're basically just dealing with a massive translation error between two totally different species. So let's fix that translation error right now.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the accidental antagonist. So we've got to talk about that universal human urge to just yell their name when they do something wrong. Like when you catch your cat knocking a glass off the counter, our human intention is just correcting bad behavior, right? But think about the feline reality for a second. Cats simply don't process cause and effect like we do. Imagine if every time you walked into your kitchen, someone just randomly started screaming at you. How long would it take before you absolutely dreaded going into that room? That is exactly what your cat is experiencing. They aren't connecting the dots about the counter. All they register is this unpredictable, unsafe volume and super aggressive energy.
And you know, the data totally backs this up. A 2021 study from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that cats who were regularly yelled at showed way higher levels of chronic stress. They didn't magically become better behaved. Instead, they became way more likely to develop behavioral issues, like hiding all the time, showing sudden aggression, or even completely avoiding the litter box. Yelling doesn't teach them a lesson. It just quietly destroys your bond, making them view you as a massive threat.
Moving right along to section 2, suppressing feline instincts.
Okay, so treating cats like low-maintenance houseplants completely deprives them of what they biologically need to do. Cats are hardwired predators. Their entire brain is built around this specific hunting sequence: stalk, chase, pounce, catch, kill, and eat. And let me be clear, staring lazily at a housefly from across the living room, that absolutely does not count. When this biological cycle doesn't get activated, something kind of just breaks down inside them. But if you activate this exact sequence with just 10 to 15 minutes of interactive play a day, like using a wand toy to actually mimic real prey, it can completely transform their whole mood. Because if you skip that playtime, the consequences are actually pretty severe. Check out this study from the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery. It outlines exactly what happens when there's a lack of play. We're talking increased rates of obesity, aggression, overgrooming, and even depression-like symptoms. So you know that cat who sleeps all day and seems wonderfully low maintenance? Yeah, they probably aren't just lazy. There's a really good chance they've just given up and are literally mentally starving.
Now, I want you to prepare yourself for a shockingly low number, 10%. That is the average amount of moisture found in dry cat kibble.
So why does 10% matter? Well, it all comes back to your cat's desert ancestry. See, they evolved to get almost all of their water directly from the prey they eat. Their natural instinct to actually walk over to a bowl and drink water is incredibly low because they simply aren't built for it. So when their entire diet is dry kibble, they are essentially living in a state of chronic low-level dehydration. The Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association found that this puts immense pressure on their kidneys over time, and that contributes to kidney disease, which is actually the #1 cause of death in older cats. But hey, the good news here? Simply mixing in wet food just a few times a week gives their kidneys a massive fighting chance.
Okay, on to section 3, misunderstanding boundaries and space.
So a really crucial point here is how we completely misinterpret their need for physical safety. Have you ever been petting your cat, everything seems totally great, and then suddenly, wham, they bite you? You probably accidentally touched the wrong button, triggering what behaviors call petting-induced overstimulation. This is a real biological reaction. A cat's skin is absolutely loaded with nerve endings, so it can shift from feeling pleasant to completely overwhelmed in just seconds. When they bite you during a belly rub, they aren't being malicious. Their nervous system is literally short-circuiting.
The big problem is that we tend to pet cats like they're dogs. With dogs, long backstrokes and belly rubs are fantastic, right? But a University of Lincoln study found that cats show the lowest stress responses when they are touched only around the cheeks, the base of the ears, and under the chin. If you focus on the belly or the base of the tail, their stress hormones actually spike. An exposed cat belly is a sign of immense trust, not an invitation for a rub.
If we betray that trust or ignore warning signs like a flicking tail or flattened ears, we're accidentally overwhelming them.
Next up, I really want you to honestly think about this question. Where is your cat's litter box right now? Is it tucked away in a freezing basement, shoved behind a super loud washing machine, or maybe crammed into a dark closet somewhere?
I mean, it makes total sense from the human point of view. We want it hidden away to avoid the sights and smells. We get it. But consider the cat's view for a second. Cats are both predators and prey. When they use the litter box, they are in their absolute most vulnerable physical position. Research in applied animal behavior science directly links tight, dark placements to elimination problems out of sheer fear. To your cat, that dark corner with only one exit doesn't feel private, it feels like a terrifying, inescapable trap. If your cat is peeing outside the box, it's often not a behavioral issue at all. It's sheer panic because of where the box is located.
To fix this, behaviorists rely on this immediate, super actionable formula, the N+1 rule. That means 1 box per cat plus 1 extra. So if you have 2 cats, you need 3 boxes. Placing these in different, accessible areas of the house gives your cats spatial options, and it instantly reduces territorial tension and anxiety in the house.
And finally, let's look at Section 4, the independence myth.
This perfectly illustrates a habit we do out of love that might actually do the most damage of all. Consider what is arguably the biggest lie in pet culture: the idea that cats don't care if you're gone. We all have this deeply ingrained myth that cats are entirely self-sufficient, fiercely independent, and totally unaffected when left alone for 10 to 12 hours a day while we go to work.
But I've got to deliver a bit of an emotional gut punch from the scientific community here. A 2020 study published in Current Biology proved definitively that cats formed genuine attachment bonds with their owners. When they were separated and reunited, cats showed clear signs of secure or insecure attachments, identically to how dogs, and actually even human infants, bond with their caregivers. So yeah, they absolutely care that you are gone. When they're left isolated for too long, they experience what we call silent suffering. They can develop anxiety, depression, overgrooming, appetite changes, and litter box problems. Because cats suffer in silence, they tend to withdraw and hide rather than, say, barking at the door or destroying your shoes. Their quietness tricks us. We walk in, the house is intact, and we think, oh, everything is fine. But inside, they are hurting. They notice when you are gone, and they feel it deeply.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, you don't need to be home 24/7, but you do need to be intentional. Leave out enrichment toys before you go to work. Create window perches so they have a view of the outside world. And most importantly, when you walk back through that front door, don't just walk past them to check your mail. Sit down, be present. Actively connect with your cat for just 5 minutes, because to you, they are a part of your life, but to them, you are their entire world. They really just need to know you came back.
We've covered a lot of ground in this explainer, crossing that empathy bridge from human intention to feline reality. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you ready to see your home through your cat's eyes? Think about the habits we discussed today. What is one small change you can make tonight to make your cat feel a little more seen, a little more safe, and a whole lot more loved? Thanks so much for joining me, and I highly encourage you to take these insights and apply them to your own feline friendships today.